Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Listen Up Podcast. It's your boy Brandon.
This is your boy Sam.
Yo, man, we're here with the signing day episode, man. Oh, Sam, before we even get into the signing day, because we'll talk about that in a second. What's up
Yeah,
with your boy Dabo, dog?
I don't know, man. I mean, between him and Deion, it's like they're just gonna use God for everything, man.
Hey, dog, that
Between him,
may have been the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Any,
it's on
I'm
message
so,
for Dabo.
bro, it's stupid, dog. It's stupid. Like, it, It's stupid. I don't know what don't have in my background too, for the record. So if y'all looking at the green screen, I'm seeing the green screen too, and it was working 2 seconds ago. So
Yeah, yeah.
it happens. So it is what it is. Um, it is what it is. Like, bro. It just computers. I have no idea what just happened, and now I'm trying to add it back, and it's anyway. I'm gonna continue on, but like, no, I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? I have no idea what's going on with Dabo. I have no idea why he says the thing he says. Why do they continue to insert God into situations where God didn't ask to be at? Like, it's a lot of crazy stuff happening, dog. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. I need Dabo to go somewhere. I need him to go ahead and lose and get fired or win and get promoted. But I don't want to hear this man. I do not want to hear this man speak. He gets on my nerves.
That's on par for who
It's
he is,
annoying.
though. That's just who he is. That's what he gonna do, bro.
Oh,
That's
Bobby wasn't this. When they talked about Bobby being folksy and stuff like that, that was one thing. This, this is some bull. Like, it's just,
you just really don't like Dabo.
I didn't like him to begin with. Let's make it very clear. Dabo, I don't like the man. But is this type of stuff that make me really not like him? Like, I don't like him because he don't give credit what credit is due. It's always something his team didn't do. There's never other team played better, whatever it is. He petty. Even though I don't necessarily, I'm petty too, so I can relate. But this here, this is crazy.
So he is.
Hey, Brian saying degree. Hey, it's like Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, man. It's like Michael B. Jordan finna walk in here, man, feed them kids, get them kids lunches ready, man. Again, I don't know. It's telling me for some reason my device does not support virtual backgrounds, and it's the same device I used last time. So I don't know. It's just gonna be like this. I can pull it down, but this is gonna be the backdrop. Imagine Florida State behind it. Anyway, but no, man, like, it's just Deion is Deion. I expect Deion to do what Deion does. Partly it's funny, it's tongue in cheek, but the God in the NIL, we brought what did he say? We brought Jesus to the
He
NIL.
said he
We're in
said he
God's
built he
name,
built a
image, and like
program. He built a
in
program in
God's.
God's image, name, image, and his likeness. Shout out to
I want
Dabo.
to fight this. I want to fight Dabo. I want to fight Dabo sometime, dog.
Mm.
I yeah, and all right. I can continue on, but I'm not. Um, I'm gonna let you talk first about recruiting as a whole, because you started something last week, right? And I kind of saw it play out today, and now I'm with you. I was already with you, like, you know what I mean, but now I'm really with you. This is
What
nasty.
what's that?
Like, college football recruiting is nasty right now.
I mean, I
It
don't
it's
I don't
basically it reminds me almost of, oh, bro, it's nasty.
I
It's
don't
it's nasty. I know it's always a lot of things that have been going on, but it couldn't have been this nasty, dog.
I think
It's basically, all right, it's free agency. It's free agency. High school college football has become free agency.
right.
If hey, I'm going to college, I'm a 4-star recruit. That says I'm worth $25,000 in free food at your cafeteria for life.
Yeah.
And here comes school X that says, "Oh, I give you $30,000 and a pair of tennis shoes."
Yeah.
Oh, well then, if you giving $30,000 in tennis shoes, I'm going with you. At some point, they got to be rules to the game. And I didn't plan on starting like this. I'm just after just watching kind of how the season developed, and we'll dive more into detail about, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
Florida State specifically.
Yeah.
But in general, this is crazy, dog. Like, it's just, I,
You know, I
who
don't.
gonna pay some dude the most money, and the kids have zero loyalty to anything? I think it teaches bad principles. It teaches there's no like
Yeah.
stick to it. There's no, you know what I mean? There used to be a your word is your bond type of thing. That's gone. There ain't no word is bond. You know what I mean? It's I've said this, but I've only said this until the next person comes with a dollar amount higher than the last person's dollar amount.
Well, these
And
precedents has been set by these, but the precedents have been set by the adults though. These are the adults have now the prisoners are running the asylum basically. But I mean, I think a lot of people that's complaining about recruiting and how it's being done is people that have staffs, perennial blue bloods that's used to recruiting at a high level are no longer doing it, and it's funny.
You can't. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you
It's
can.
I don't want to say
Well,
you can't because you can. But
You can.
it's really it's difficult without.
It's not. It hasn't changed. This hasn't changed.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I think it has. I don't believe it's always been. Hey, dog, you got 50,000 for me. Cool. All right. Well, LSU got 65, so I'm going to LSU.
I think the problem is.
There was still a bit of. I'm
rocking with. I think the biggest problem is the curtain has been pulled back, and everybody get to take a look at it now, right? Yeah. And I think that's a part of it, right? Yeah. I think another part of this is nobody wants accountability for not doing their damn job, right? So the first thing you hear when school X, Y, and Z don't get player X, Y, and Z is somebody bought the player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like everybody's trying to escape culpability of all this stuff. Like, you know, you're complaining about the transfer portal, but then we're dipping in grabbing 10 players out of the transfer portal. I mean, and then you complain about paying players, but then you outbidded everybody for Hakeem Williams. I mean, you put up big cash to get him. So, I mean, you didn't get him on the cheap. So, I just think that a lot of this is kind of, but I think the biggest problem.
It's not even about getting somebody on the cheap, though.
But the problem is, the problem with this whole tenor of this whole conversation is everybody gets to look at it now. Everybody gets to take a look at this. And then when you're looking at it, you're realizing that the sport that you thought was so pure and so sacred isn't pure. It's just as dirty and muddy as everything else. And it's kind of bothering people. It's bothering the casual fan or the people that want to hold college football on high. It bothers you a little bit to look at it like this. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it's just a nasty game. And the kids are more hip to it. Right, so now they play the game just as good as the adults play the game. The parents are playing the game just as good as the coaches are playing the game. Everybody's in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's EA Sports right now. Everybody's in the game. You know what I'm saying? But if you just take a look at it though, like go look at the top recruiting classes. I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny here, but like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Miami, Ohio State, LSU, Oklahoma. Oregon's right there. Notre Dame or Oregon's like kind of like outliers, but when you talking about over 20 years, 30 years of recruiting, I mean, those names ain't crazy names to be recruiting at a high level, right? That's not crazy to say Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Miami, Ohio State, LSU. That's not crazy to say they having good years recruiting. You know what I'm saying? That's not insane. You know? I don't think it's really changing as much. I just think that there is this other element to it that people we talked about it, we make jokes about it, but now it's out there, right? When you hear about your big time player flirting with other schools to try to get you to up more money, to up the bag up a little bit more, that's kind of irritating to the sensibilities of what you think college football is and what it should be. But maybe it's always been like this. You know what I'm saying? It's just been this way. And these coaches complain about it while they're doing the same thing.
Now that part is true. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a recruiting expert. I don't know recruiting like this, and I don't really talk it like that. But what I don't believe it's always been this. You get what I'm saying? Right. I don't believe it's always been what Prop Joe said, buy for $1, sell for $2. Like it all feels like a hustle. You know what I mean? The whole thing feels like Succession. You know what I mean? Like it's all a game that everybody's playing, but we now seeing it televised. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's always been succession. I think at some point there were some players who played for Florida State who didn't get checks.
Right.
I believe it. So, and I'm talking about good players. I believe at some point there were some players who played for others, for Alabama and others who didn't get checks. What I'm saying now, it feels like for every top name recruit, there's a dollar value assigned to that kid. And that dollar value, he knows what it is.
That's because
he's told what it is.
They got sites. They got sites publishing this stuff.
I know.
And those the same sites complaining about it.
Again, that is a whole other conversation I ain't having that. I'm saying just from a standpoint of, I didn't know we got into the business of the huddle tapes are just like OnlyFans account. Your huddle account is just, hey, put up the money and I'll come in wherever it is. It all feel like shit. I'm everybody for sale. Right. And I thought there was a bit of loyalty to it. I thought there was always a bit of recruiting skill. At this point, I don't know how much skill you necessarily have to have in this. Man, you just got to have deep, because I think you have to have deep pockets. It feels like it's changed from, all right, cool. The people with the money, they're going to get the players. If you ain't got none, you ain't getting none. If you got medium pocket, you're going to recruit in the 20s. If you got, you know what I mean? You got deep pockets, you recruit in the 10s.
But we're trying to put this... we're absolving people that have a job of doing their job and saying, well, it's just the game's not fair. The game is fair.
No. Okay, so these are two separate
everybody's playing but my thing is everybody's playing by the same rules. That's my whole problem with the complaints is everybody's playing by the same rules. These rules are no different for Alabama than it is for Florida State than it is for Miami. These are the same rules. Everybody's playing by them, right? Yep. I think that is kids taking money? Yeah. Do you know about it? Yeah, you do. And I think a couple of years ago, when Jimbo signed a class, Jimbo signed 3 straight classes. Mm-hmm. And those 3 straight classes are all ranked in the top 5, right?
1 and 2, basically.
Yeah. Well, one of them was ranked number 1, but most of them, they were basically inside the top 5, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't spoke about a lot, but everybody knew things had to happen for that to happen. Like, things had to happen for 100%. A team that was winning 7 wins and 6 wins in the ACC to then go along to, getting top 3 and top 4, top 5 classes with high-profile guys. Everybody knew special things had to happen for that to happen, right? You know what I'm saying? It's okay when you get in the players. You okay with what's going on. You don't even care. It's not your money. You're not even counting it. You don't even care. It just bothers you when you ain't where you need to be yet, relationship-wise. Like, some of these coaches are not getting in the door hold on, let me say this right way. Some of these coaches are not getting in the door where the money conversation can even be had later on in the process. That's the problem we got today. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem we got. The problem isn't that we don't have money. The problem isn't that we don't have money. The problem is we're not building the type of relationships that get you in the door where you feel comfortable enough to have the type of conversation you need to have to secure a top 10 recruiting class out of the high school ranks. That's the problem we're having, right? It's a lot easier to have these conversations with a grown 23-year-old, 22-year-old, 21-year-old who's already been through the college recruiting process. Easy to have a money conversation with him because guess what? NIL can have a direct conversation with him. We ain't got to do all these back channel and all this other stuff. We can just get the job done, right? In the portal, you can just talk to these kids, right? They come on your campus. You can talk about NIL. High school kids, you're not really supposed to do that, right? So then that's a level of trust. That's a level of building a connection with somebody to be able to have this conversation that you're really not supposed to be having. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem we having. That's the problem we have. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Before we dive into this, man, because Sam over there preaching, right? So let's get
reset the room.
Let's reset the room for a minute. I was on a tangent about the state of college football and where it's been and how it's nasty behavior, and that's true. That does not excuse what's happening here at Florida State.
Absolutely, Ant.
With that said, please hit that subscribe button and hit them likes.
Yeah.
This is the part. Like, if you're gonna timestamp it, 15 minutes in, so we are now talking about exactly what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So what Sam says is the absolute truth. We don't have the recruiting staff put in place to get in the rooms to have the conversations, which is why you can end up in situations where Falk can go to Auburn, right? You are having a conversation, but you're not having a real one. And it happens to Florida State all too often, to the point where we can't say it's a fluke. If every year you're getting outbid by your top recruit, there's a miscommunication.
Right.
Florida State is currently 9-3 and probably going to finish the season 10-3, and will still have the number 20th ranked recruiting class.
Right.
Now, we can say the portal and the times have changed, and I've said it. But it's not a long-term fix. We keep saying that you are kicking a can down the road.
You talking
At some
about
point, you got to get the Falks. You got to get the Travis Hunters. Yeah. I'm saying no. I'm talking about like the portal is a short-term thing.
Right.
You gotta get folks. You gotta get Travis Hunters. You gotta get, and not through the portal. You gotta get them on signing day.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm gonna get what you talking about Ant in a minute. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna get to what Ant talking about, because I think me and him on the same.
Yeah, this is slow. This is gonna be a slow cooker. Yeah, it's
gonna be a slow cooker. But what I do want to say though, because this is gonna come off like we flaming the staff. I'm not flaming the staff. I'm not flaming the staff. But what I am saying is, it is a problem when you're not in position to make hay on a 9-win season. I'm not saying you should have had a top 10 class. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, maybe you should have been able to, once you got halfway through the season, maybe you should have had enough relationships where you could get in the door of some of those top 300, 200 kids, and maybe you'd have had a top 15 class in the high school ranks. And from my understanding, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, I came on the pod last week, I said I expected some flips. I expect us to lose one, which I expect the Falk not to be here. That was my full expectation. I expect us to get Andy Jean. I expect us to get the guy, Kersey, what's his name? They had him in the chat. The guy that decommitted from Penn State. I expect to get him, and there was another guy. I gotta remember the other guy's name. I gotta look it up.
It's 6:30.
But he's not coming. That kid's not coming. So I expected for us to lose one and gain 3. That's my expectation. Oh, the kid Otto. They got the kid Otto. Yeah. So I expect us to get 3. Lose one, get 3. Even with that, that's low expectations for what you did do this season. I thought you should have made a little bit more hay. And I'm not typically that upset about this, because I said this way in the spring. Well, if they have a surprise good season, okay, they'll be in 19, 17, maybe 15 at the highest level. I never believed they was going to recruit at that type of a level, and that's just because, and this is what something Ant's saying right here, I'll tell you, you or our kid grew up an FSU fan. FSU didn't even try to have a conversation with the kid. These are facts. These are just little things that you just see. They don't really they don't spread a wide enough net in the high school ranks, in my opinion. And
there's another one. I tagged him. I said he grew up a Florida State fan. Florida State has not been in contact with him. He would come. Yeah. He'd come and drop a bat.
And then you see these kids kind of run off to go to I think one went to Miami.
Going to Utah from Jacksonville.
I seen one kid go to Indiana, from Lake City. Got one that went to Indiana. Mm-hmm. I thought would have been a nice take for FSU. And they got another kid. We do got a Lake City and Lake City too. I just think that they got to get to a place. It can't just be 1 or 2 guys on the staff trying to build connections. You have to be an all-in mentality of 7 to 8 guys on that FSU staff building connections. Right now, they just got 1 guy. Well, 2 guys.
I'm seeing a lot
of these guys don't even. If they get into a tussle, not a tussle. If they get into they got to recruit against somebody that's kind of big, Georgia, Even Beam recruits the hell out of Florida. Look at South Carolina. I'm gonna just go to this right quick. I'm gonna go to South Carolina high school recruiting.
Why are you looking at that? This FSU class is ranked 10 with the portal kids, so we good. We're not good. William, we're not good. Like you have to. These are independent things, man. These are high school recruiting is important. It is absolutely necessary, and you have to recruit the high school ranks. Now, yeah, I've said it on this pod. I think Mike has a special flair for the portal. He seems to hit more than he misses.
Well, I mean, he got no choice.
That's going to help you fill in some of these gaps.
Yeah, I mean, he got no choice but to hit in the portal.
But I was just going to say, but he's doing it because he has to. It's a different story when you don't have to. You know what I mean? When you have to, you know what I mean? When you can go in the portal and grab a DN every now and then or grab a quarterback because yours left early, that's one thing. It's another thing when, look at our team this year. All of them were portal kids. Every last one of them except for Peyton and Travis. Every other player who made plays this season were portal kids. Every impact player, that whole, you know what I mean, the all ACC teams, those were with kids we grabbed from other schools. And while that'll help you long term, that should not be your base. That shouldn't be. It should be flip flop.
Well, I do think that I want to.
This is the thing that's portal kids. You're right.
It's the thing that's aggravating to me is because we're gonna say, well, let's see what happened in 24, which I do think 24 can be better. I really do believe that. But I am a little tired of saying, let's see what happened next year. You know what I'm saying?
What's funny is I literally had that written down. Like I'm tired of the people who keep saying, "Hey man, it's not this class that built. It's the 24 class." My question is why, and this is just my brain. Why would the wins this season not count towards this season's recruiting? Why would they count towards the follow? First of all, the 24 class is top 5 today. We were top 5 or top 2 early in this 23 class too. It doesn't matter today. That 24 class will finish 15 and 17 again. Nobody's recruited. Like Bama ain't started recruiting the 24 class.
Right.
Georgia has not started recruiting the 24 class. When they go in and decide they're gonna get it, that number's gonna drop. They will not hold the top 5 class in 24. That's just not. I mean, you will get a class early, and they've not shown the ability to maintain that.
Right.
I keep hearing, they make great strides in the 24 class. A lot of guys look good. I've seen it all, but I've seen them same players flip at the last minute. We've just witnessed it. How many times are we gonna continue to go through the rabbit race of, hey man, 24 class look good. We got this kid, and then your top guy on your board goes to another school. Day of on signing day. Right. It's happened every single time.
Yeah,
at some point, you think you would be tired at this point, I don't care who the number 1 recruit is. I'm assuming he's going to another school. Mm-hmm. Because we don't have the purse to hold on to them, or we don't have the recruiting acumen to be able to keep these players in. But somebody is dropping the ball somewhere where you continue to lose the top player in your class. I'm hearing people say it's Woodson because I know Woodson was Travis Hunter's primary recruiter. I don't know if he was Falks. If he was, again, I don't know recruiting like that. But I do know if he was Falks, then Woodson need to hit the fucking road.
Yeah.
This has happened too many times for people to continue to retain their jobs. That's what I'm saying. There's a miss somewhere. There's a gap in your program. Cool. We got the number, you know what I mean? Like I said, we lost the number 1 tight end in the 2024 class to Georgia already. You get what I'm saying? Man, them kids, when they want to come and take your players, they clearly are saying big bank take little bank, or big recruiter take little recruiter, or whoever, you know what I mean? Whatever it is they doing, they're telling it to your players and they leaving.
Well, it seems like these top schools, these top 10 or 15 schools, in my opinion, it seems like they have a better gauge on what these kids want, what they need, and what it's going to take to secure their commitments. In my opinion, that's what it seems like to me. Not necessarily saying, it just seems like they have better relationships. It seems like they have a clear understanding of what it's going to take. And it don't seem like you have a clear understanding. It seems like you're selling a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of stuff you're selling is true. All right, I think it's a great approach. but it's not securing them, and that's a problem. And like I told somebody, people talking about the class, and I was telling somebody, man, I don't know how many people in this class. I mean, other than once you get past Hakeem Williams, Lucas Simmons, Blake Nicholson, I think was kind of coveted a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I like that kid.
Once you get past those three, I don't know how coveted
Jacobs.
I don't think so. I'm not saying he won't be good. I'm just saying I don't know how coveted these guys are. I do think the top three guys you got was pretty coveted players that people wanted them.
Yep.
I don't know if the rest of those kids was really coveted that you really had to get into dog fights to get. Personally, you know what I'm saying?
As much as I like Sam, and I think Sam is actually going to be the next. I think he's my sleeper on this recruiting class. As much as I like him, I looked at his recruiting offers. You didn't battle anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
you were by far his best offer.
Yeah, if not.
And while I think it's a very good point, I think he's a very good kid. Like I know him. I'm telling you, I think he's a good football player. He will turn out to be great.
Yeah.
To Sam's point, you didn't have to battle anybody for those guys.
It is pretty funny. This is my Mike and his press conference instant. I mean, I imagine after the last two classes he just brought in here, Wood in here, I bet he do think those guys he got this class was instant impact.
I don't understand how it couldn't be.
I bet you do.
You actually got some, you got some legit 5-star. Hakeem Williams, I think, will produce immediately. You know what I mean? Like, you got some players who I think will produce immediately. Linebacker will be you need linebackers. That was like, that's linebackers when they hit the bench, that's going to be an instant impact player.
And I mean, I do think, good. I think, and I said this to y'all in the group chat. I know I put it in the group chat to you, Brad. I'm like, I looked at the last couple of recruiting classes. We had 7 guys that are contributing on the football team in those last class. That was what, 40 kids, I think. 30 kids. Out of the 30, 7 of them contributed or made contributions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we got this class, then we got the last class where most of the contributions are going to be made in that class is going to be from the offensive line. And I do think some of those offensive linemen will be pretty good. It does bother me a little bit that, we grabbed a bunch of Porter offensive linemen again, which I'm happy about that because I do like the idea of development that those guys can sit back another year and develop. But I do wonder what does that say about what you brought in on that last class. Like, is Charlton on schedule? Is Early on schedule? You know what I'm saying? Is some of these guys, is Sapp on schedule? You know what I'm saying? So I do concern myself with some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think they're going to have a good season next year. I firmly believe that. I think they're going to have 10 wins. I think they're going to battle out with Clemson.
I think those are two separate points. You know what I mean?
Right. But
that'll be very good.
But the problem I think me and you and a couple of guys in the group chat were talking about was, okay, when everybody leaves, when Jordan Travis leaves and those guys kind of leave, those locker room guys kind of leave. And you do bring in a good class in 24. I think you're going to bring in a top 10 class. I mean, you damn well better bring in a top 10 class in 24. Those guys are not going to be ready to play when you get them here, right? They're going to need a year of seasoning, They're going to need a year. Are you going to have enough? Because you can't fall back to 7 wins and 6 wins. You got to keep humping wins. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bothersome.
So this is where recruiting comes in, right? And again, he might be able to hit it again in the portal. We don't know. Next season, you're putting every egg in the basket of ACC championship and possibly more.
Right.
You're putting all your eggs in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is, once that's over, let's say you accomplish all your goals, you win the championship. You go out there, or you play in the championship, because that for us that account damn as a win, right? Just because
if you made the Final Four, that's a win. That's a
very successful season.
Right.
The problem is you're gonna lose everybody. Verse gone, Lovett gone, both your line, Bethune and Deloach gone, Travis gone, Benson gone. What's the tall wide receiver name?
Johnny Wilson.
Wilson gone. Your lineman, transfer lot gone. you are starting over again. You're basically starting to rebuild over again. Mm-hmm. If you haven't added any recruits that you've been developing underneath all of this portal stuff, you're now having to go back in the portal, but not for like 3 or 4 guys. You got to go in for a whole nother team again.
Right.
To start this process all over.
Yeah, and I do think
it's a good. It doesn't feel like a win. It doesn't feel like a winning thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like something you can continually do and it's going to work down the road.
Well, I think we've seen cases where you can portal yourself to like 11-win seasons and 12-win seasons. You can prepare yourself to really good seasons through the portal. I mean, you watch Michigan State do it, watch Baylor do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But once you start losing some of those guys, and the mixture ain't quite right some years, I mean, you can tater off pretty deep on the deep end. But ideally he's gonna need 10 guys in the last class to hit. He's gonna need 10 guys in this class to hit also. You know what I'm saying? Right. Ideally, that's what he's gonna need. 10 guys. I mean, not just to hit. They're gonna have to be damn near all ACC caliber type guys, like guys that can be all ACC caliber. And I do think Hakeem is that. I do think Lucas Simmons, offensive tackle, can be that. I think Nicholson can be that, and I think if you look back at last year's class,
Peyton gonna be that.
Well, yeah, Peyton's one of the guys I was counting off the other. I think Isaiah Thomas.
He's gonna be good.
You're gonna need AJ Duffy.
He got to be something.
Rodney Hill, I think, will be good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but after that, man, I don't know on last year's class. I don't know. I mean, people keep saying Aaron Hester. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's gonna be dicey. It's gonna be dicey. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be dicey. So you're gonna have to. It's gonna be dicey because you don't hear good things about Duffy. Salty Chris is right about that. I mean, you don't hear good things about Duffy. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta figure some things out. But let's.
I mean, we did get a quarterback. We'll see. We'll see what.
Yeah, maybe and I don't particularly not a big proponent of Brock Glenn personally. I'm not.
I wasn't impressed by the tape. I must say. I thought it was,
But you did need a quarterback. But you did need a quarterback.
But you had to bring in one of the
quarterback. We said that you got to bring a quarterback in here. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just not bring a quarterback. We needed a quarterback, so he did bring a quarterback in. So overall, I don't think Mike is doing but I don't think he's doing a C job. I don't think he's doing an average job. I just don't think he's doing the type of job that
he's not doing 10-win Florida State job.
Well, he's not doing step by step, brick by brick. This team is going to be a problem on a national stage in the next 3-4 years. It's gonna. You don't feel like it's going on a 4-year, 5-year run of competing for national championships. Don't feel like that, right?
No, I agree with that. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It feels like it's being duct taped and stitched together a little bit.
Quick question though: Is William trolling? Tell me it's okay. We lost fault. We got Destin Hill coming in.
I don't know. I'm tell you one thing, man. And I know I said this last year. I'm not talking about Destin Hill in this podcast. I won't do it. But you can subscribe and please like.
I'm assuming he's trolling.
Yeah, that is true. We did not.
Hit the like button if you have not.
We did not pull Graham Mertz. That's a good thing. Jesus, Florida.
Hey, boy, Florida. I don't remember the dude who tweeted it, but he had on the Florida shirt. He say, Florida grabbing Graham Mertz is like being hungry all day and going to the grocery store for a steak and leaving out with the hungry man dinner.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what that is. They were in it for Sam Hartman. What's North Carolina State quarterback?
Leary.
They were in for Leary. They were in it for every top tier quarterback. Then got down to the Coastal Carolina quarterback, and he was like, "Nah, I'm straight." And then you ended up on a backup Wisconsin quarterback. Florida, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy for what's that. Yeah, that's Hornibrook. We've seen, and then another man. Florida fans been funny today. And somebody posted the highlight tape. He was like, "You ain't seen Merchant's his highlight tape, and it was just him handing the ball off.
Yeah.
Hey man, I gotta give it to whoever them two dudes was, man. That was funny. But yeah,
They
y'all,
finna,
that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work out well for y'all. Let me be very clear.
That seat's gonna be damn warm in about 4 months. That's gonna be a warm ass.
Oh, they already want again. The GoFundMe has already started. When GoFundMe goes up, it's pretty much a wrap.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah. somebody recruiting like he at Memphis. Okay, man, y'all crazy. I disagree, but y'all crazy. But I mean, I want to get to the good things about the class because I do think it's some good pieces on the class, man. I really do. I think it's some good pieces on the class. I want to get to the good pieces. Before I get there, please like the show, subscribe to the show. Let me go to the private convo. This private conversation right here. Anyway. Hold on. Sorry about that, Brandon. Copy that. All right. Anyway, make sure y'all go to subscribe to the show. We also are on Apple, and that's the link right here. Subscribe to us on Apple. Be sure to do that. But yeah, man. So, pieces that you like in the class.
For me, I think it's over and above Hakeem, right? First of all, it's not even the fact that his talent matches. Very few players, you know what I mean, go from 4 to 5 stars. That means like whatever he did his senior year, they was like, nah, this is the truth. We've seen every highlight. He looks like he is going to be one of them. You know what I mean? The T. Higgins, one of those guys that make your quarterback look good. You know what I mean? That even though you know what I mean, you might not have had the greatest day, but I can throw it in his vicinity and he gonna go out there and make me look good. Right. He's a tall kid. He high points the football. He catches everything in sight. He's an unbelievable athlete, and he's a difference maker. It's what I thought we was getting to Travis Hunter last year. You know what I mean? At wide receiver, I said you need a difference maker, a guy who's a surefire, what feels like NFL wide receiver on your team. You know what I mean? Because they make it. It changes so much. The math changes. You know what I mean? Because he gonna go and make some catches that you're gonna need. But now when they have to shift that double team, it makes those other guys who may not be on his level, it makes Jacobs look a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Because now Jacobs can catch one on the double team and can also house it. So I look at Hakeem Williams is above and by far the best player that I think, maybe the best player Mike has ever recruited. I don't think that's far to say. It wasn't going to be Travis Hunter. I think
it's the best one he's ever signed.
That's what I mean. He's the best player he's ever. I don't mean recruited. He recruited a lot of them. He's the best player he's ever signed, in my opinion. So I look at it, but when I think Redavius said Malik McClain is on notice. I actually don't agree with that. I think Malik McClain takes a step up because you got a Hakeem. It allows him to be able to kind of flourish in that number 2, possibly even number 3 role. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, that's just my opinion. But we can have an honest conversation. Malik McClain is just a guy. He's a jack. He's a guy.
He's just a guy. That's what I mean. Yeah, but it allows him to be able to make some plays again. There are guys. They are. But you need a team. You need a couple of guys on your team.
Yeah, he's just a guy. Nothing special. Nothing amazing.
Yeah, that's my number one. That's my number one by far because I think he had so much. And what's the linebacker? I think you can't go wrong with good linebackers.
Blake. So I think Hakeem is pretty easy.
Yeah, you can't go
to be
wrong
honest with you. But I really like Lucas Simmons. I really do. I think Lucas Simmons is probably the biggest get to me. I mean, outside of course Hakeem Williams. I think Lucas Simmons is the big get because I think 6'8", 300 pounds, got really good being. I think maybe not this year, which it could be this year. I think he could be a plug and play guy, but absolutely next year, man. I think you legitimately have a NFL tackle, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? I think you legitimately have an NFL tackle. I know people think that Robert Scott is an NFL tackle. I think he's more of a guard in the NFL. But I think you legitimately have an NFL tackle in Lucas Simmons, man. And I think that's going to pay dividends down the road because I think with the scheme is already guard-friendly. Having that elite tackle, I think is going to make this offense really take off in the next year. Well, if they get the right guys around next 2 or 3 years, man, he's a bookend guy. So I really like him. I after him, I like Lamont Green a lot. I really do. Especially because I think in this scheme, it allows defensive ends to kind of fly up the field and get sacks, and become penetrators. I know in Georgia's defense, they don't ask their defensive ends to be penetrators. They ask them to control gaps and things like that. But in this defense, it is asked to get up the field, go get sacks. And I think Lamont Green, and I think it's going to take him a year and maybe a year and a half. But I do think once the light come on for him, I do think you're going to have a really good football player, Lamont Green.
Mm-hmm.
So
I told you, personal bias is going to have me having is Sam, the running back. I think again, I've seen him play. Unbelievable athlete, great skill. He hits the hole. From the very first time I seen him, before I even had a chance to coach him, the very first time I seen him, I said I don't know very many kids that was his age that hit the hole as hard as he did. And I think he reminds me a lot of Carlos Williams. So, you know what I mean? Like maybe, like you said, positionless. You could have put him anywhere. He played linebacker, but he also was running back as well. I think that's a big one for me.
Right.
I'm trying to Williams. Here's the reason why. I'm sorry. Not Williams. What's the tackle you just talking
Simmons.
about? Simmons.
Yeah.
The reason why I agree with you on Simmons is if he is what you say, you know what I mean. He's an NFL tackle. What that does, it does make things a whole lot easier for your quarterback. You need tackles. They help protect that quarterback. They keep your quarterback upright. So whoever the new back is, who you'll be starting in that 24 season, he gonna need a tackle. And like you said, you give him a year to get into his body, train, get stronger, get bigger. Yeah. I don't know if he's early enrollee, but allow him to get, put on some man weight and tone up a little bit. Then you go into it with that position not being the issue. You know what I mean? You don't got to worry about your new quarterback getting hit every play.
And
which is what I think some of our past quarterbacks have problems with.
It's weird because if you think about it, man, the way Alex Atkins has recruited the offensive line is exactly what you kind of wanted from the rest of the staff on a whole.
It's why the excuses don't work.
Yeah, bringing in
Atkins is why the excuses don't work.
That's true. That is why.
Like if we really want to dive into the excuse making that gets made for Woodson and the furniture and all these other players who we miss out on. Right. Alex Atkins is on the other side doing it with the same money that you got.
Right.
The same time in his schedule, the same money, the same staff, and that same 9-3 record. He seems to get the guys.
Yeah.
Every guy. If his name is linked to him, he getting them. You know what I mean? Like it ain't even transfer portal. 5-star recruit, back-to-back years, because I guess Simmons is more of a 5, is close to a 5-star than a 4. You are talking about he's able to get guys. But for some reason, we look at the other staff and say, no, it's not possible. They don't have the money. Well, is Atkins paying it out of his own pocket? And I don't know about it because I'm missing it, right? Like he on the same staff as everybody else, but that's the problem. He killing the argument.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a good job. That's what you kind of would want from the other position groups because you would like to see them kind of bring in young talent, stack transfers on top of them, develop those guys. And, I mean, if Atkins is here in 24 and 25, you're going to have a good offensive line, period. Like, that won't be the problem. Like, this team won't have an offensive line problem. It won't have an offensive line problem. You know what I'm saying? So,
Smiley says, hold on real quick. Smiley, this class was built last year before the season started.
What are we doing here?
He's I believe, responding to the fact that I said, why are we putting all these eggs in this 24 basket when we just had the 9-3 season? Why wouldn't the 9-3 season affect this year's recruits? And he's saying because the relationships were made before the season started. As if for some reason these last 9 games, these last 12 games didn't get played, so they didn't see any of it because the relationships was built upon when they sucked. So they didn't see any of the good. Only the people in the 24 class saw the good. The 23 people didn't. Man, that's an excuse, Smiley, dog. Like, we got to stop with the excuses.
Well, I mean, I don't think we are asking them to recruit at a top.
We got to stop with the excuses. We just got to get these recruits.
Well, we're not asking them to recruit at a top 10 high school level. We were just asking them to be around 15, 16, 17. I mean, right now, currently, it's sitting at, 20?
Somebody said it was 18, which I mean, you split in halves. It ain't good enough for them. I don't wins they've had.
The composite recruiting class is sitting at 20. The one that's with just the high school kids is just sitting at 20. I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. You only brought in, hold on, how many kids you brought in? Let me go. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it the wrong way.
They keep it's the problem I'm having with a lot of things that I'm seeing is
we
banked a lot of if they win, the recruits will come. Just win, dog. Recruits will come. That's not good enough. It didn't happen. We won and it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, man, they change. We constantly change these arguments, man. They change these arguments. They changed the arguments.
You just keep got to pat down a different argument. They win. You know what I mean? They win. Okay, they still don't get recruits. Now what?
Yeah.
No. They ain't got the money. Right? You know what I mean? All right, so now you got to dispute that. I guarantee you, they're gonna come up with something else. They're gonna come up with something else, man.
Yeah, and that number 2
transfer portal rank.
That number 2 transfer portal holding up. That ain't gonna hold up through the off season because some of these teams waiting for these bowl games to get over so these other guys can go into the portal. So that number's going to change also, you know. But I think they've done a good job in the portal. I think they hit every need they needed to hit in the portal, to be honest with you. I think they hit every need. But if you're trying to tell me you recruited 16 high school kids, best you come up with number 20, it's a problem. It's a problem. All right? Probably needed to hit. I needed you to be around 15, to be honest with you. I needed you to be around 15. 12. Yeah, I know what you want. I told you that wasn't even possible. I was like, shh. You know, I said that's every time. That wasn't happening, you know. But I don't think the staff.
Bobby Bowden won 2 championships with plenty of 3 stars. It is 2022, dog. Man, he won in the 90s. This ain't the same game that's happening. What are y'all talking about, man?
I think
Purple Goblin. I don't know who you are, bro, and I appreciate you listening. You keep listening to the podcast, and you gonna tell me stuff from over 20 years ago. The game has changed, bro. The old days. That's the problem with the old days. They the old days. Ain't that since we quoting the, you know what I mean, stuff from The Wire. You know what I mean? Like it just no, dog. Bobby Bowden won with 3 stars.
I mean, back then they didn't really keep.
What did Georgia win with? Tell me what Georgia won with last year. You want to tell me about Bobby? Tell me what Georgia won with last year. Tell me what Georgia gonna win with this year. Tell me that.
Yeah.
Tell me what Ohio State won with. This foolishness. Tell me what Alabama wins with every year. Tell me what the teams that are winning with today. Matter of fact, tell me what we won with in 2013 and 2014. Tell me that. Tell me what we won with. We won a lot of 3 stars on that team. It was a whole bunch of 4 and 5s. Jalen Ramsey was a 5-star.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was.
Talking about.
He was very different. Very different guy. On his way to the Hall of Fame. On his way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, y'all got to stop this foolishness, man. Y'all got to stop this foolishness, dog. We don't see. I want you to come back when TCU get the brakes beat off them by these 5 stars. Them hungry 3s get the brakes beat off them by them 5 stars. Then you come back and tell me how that look, Purple Goblin. That's what I want you to tell me. When George dog walked them dude, you tell me 3 stars how the 3 stars look. Where are y'all talking about, man? I'm so sick of this, man. Just stop with the excuses. We gotta recruit better. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Recruit better.
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm not knocking it. Listen, we will be great next year. I don't want nobody to take what I'm telling you. We will be great next year. I think we will. I picked us to be in the Final Four. I think we will win. I think we got to not win a championship. I think we have an opportunity to compete for a championship next year. I think the ACC championship is a given. I do believe we will be great. But at the same token, you got to be able to recruit at a high level. And that piece is still missing from Florida State. I'm not knocking them for it. I'm just saying they got to get better. So if that means firing some guys who can do it, do that. But they are not at the level they need to be at, especially when you tell me that they are 9-win, top 15 team and they're going to finish the season ranked with a top 10 team. They should have all the hype, momentum, money, and everything surrounding this team to where they should have been able to handpick guys. Because now, let me be honest, and this is going to upset some people. Locked in Jimbo Fisher, this would have been a number 1 or 2 class. I'm lying, Sam?
Hey, that's fun. I like that right there. 3 stars. I like Purple Goblin. Hey, send me an email, Purple Goblin, get you a t-shirt. That's funny as hell. Oh man. You know what's funny? Let's just do this. But let's do this exercise. Let's do this exercise. Would you take Alabama's recruiting class right now? Matter of fact, no. Let's do it better than this. Would you take Miami's recruiting class right now and trade yours in? Because I would. I would trade this.
No, not Purple Goblin. He want them 3 stars. They gonna get us to the chip. Them 3 stars gonna take us all the way.
Oh man.
Man, y'all in these excuses, boy. Just we out here getting California linebackers. They're linebacker at Oakleaf. Linebacker right over there at West Side. Go to West Side High. I know a few linebackers.
But let me ask you this question. Do you think they will? Do you think he will figure out recruiting?
Miami ain't won a game. Ain't made a bowl game. They got everybody. They just pulling guys left and right. But we got the low 3 stars. They hungry. Sick of it. Sick it, man. Purple God, thank you for listening, sir. Don't
worry about it. When we start recruiting when we recruit in the top 10,
I don't know what you want from me.
When we recruit in the top 10 in the summer, y'all gonna celebrate every last one of them 4 stars. And my point gonna be made. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's cool, man. I think this is our thing. Yeah, I mean, we just got to stop with the excuse making. That's okay, man.
You know what the problem about it is? The problem about it is if we assigned all stars and 4 stars, these same people wouldn't be having these same crazy conversations. That's the problem.
Yeah, they'd be pretty happy. They was all 5 stars.
Right, be happy as all get out.
It's a reason why y'all like. It's a reason why y'all was so happy when Hakeem Williams signed. It was the reason why y'all waited by the edge of y'all seats waiting for him to sign that fucking blank sheet of paper. It's a reason why. Because you know he's a difference maker.
Right, Brian was scared. Brian was scared. All of Miami was tweeted. Oh no, it's a wide receiver commit. Brian was shook. Brian, I'm sorry to put you out there. Brian was shook.
Brian would DM me all damn day about that.
Brian was out there like, oh Lord, yeah, Brian does. Oh Lord, the wide receiver. They said Miami said they get the wide receiver. I hope it's not Hakeem. They ain't had no confidence with Hakeem. Hakeem was hanging up on me. I'm chill now, man. I've been drinking brown.
But man, make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're close to 1,000 subscribers, man. We are hitting on 1,000 subscribers. We really close to 1,000, man. We like 70 away, actually. Like 70 away, 68, I think, away.
Yeah. I think less than 70. I thought we had like 930 something, man.
Yeah, 935, somewhere around there. Yeah,
man. This gonna be the one.
Yeah, so y'all just keep plugging the pod. Keep plugging the pod. Keep plugging the pod. Tell your people, subscribe on your daughter's stuff and on her iPad and everything else, man. But Brandon, you got anything else, man?
Get your kids devices. I ain't got nothing, man. Stop making excuses. Yeah, stop making excuses. All I'm gonna say, man.
You know what's funny? Timmy keeps saying, "Don't be like." Hold on. Let me say this. She keeps about Timmy. She talk about, don't be like A&M. Got a bunch of files. Only go 5-7. Now when A&M go win 10 games next year, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear that. Now when they win 10 games next year, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
He's been stacking classes. It gets very difficult to lose when you got a whole lot of talent. Again, Sam been saying it. This still won the year, but that next year gonna look a little different because all that talent don't came up to the top. I know we don't like Jimbo.
Oh, Mansa, you didn't even Mansa, you didn't even win the pick'em. You didn't win it. Go look at it. You didn't win the pick'ems. Tay won the pick'ems. I'm waiting on Tay to DM me. Tay won the pick'ems.
I should laugh at it. I didn't even get in it, but he was real happy about that.
She thought they ain't winning 10 games. Okay. All right. Don't worry about it. We're going to revisit the conversation next year. We're going to revisit this conversation. It's fun how everybody else get a transition class and a COVID class. Only people that get a COVID and transition class is FSU. Everybody else, though, need to make it happen.
No, yeah. For some reason, our school was the only school affected by COVID. We had a tough go of it. COVID really did a number on us, unlike any other school that has ever recruited before or again. That's been the thing. But man, listen. Let's start with the excuses. All I was gonna say.
Hold on, I got a couple.
Appreciate y'all listening for real. I think the last episode may have been our highest view. All right. Go ahead. Grab a question.
Got a couple questions. Coaches, some of these staff don't have a relationship with the college coaches to know what the price tag is, and that's what the problem is. And you are correct. Organization will sustain success. NIL may allow bad organizations to catch light in a bottle and make a run every now and then. See Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to be there for a while. I don't think Tennessee's going backwards, Bill. I'm going to tell you, I already put that one out there. The Pharrell kid, like you said, it might be a player. He ain't moving. Yeah, you're right about that, Salty. He wouldn't have moved the rankings. That's true. That is true. He wouldn't have moved the rankings, but pretty good player. Pretty good player, in my opinion. Why is high school necessary? It's new. Just because a Porter team hasn't won the Natty yet doesn't mean it can't. Okay.
You know what? I'm going to not agree. I'm going to kind of agree with you because I've kind of said I've been on the edge of saying this, right? Not enough because the history has said that you got to recruit, but I've been kind of like maybe Mike has figured out a new way of doing it. There may be multiple ways to get to your desired goal, and Mike may have figured out. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question.
If I get a lot of grown men who I know or I believe can play, I might be able to circumvent the deficiencies I have in the high school ranks. And
let me ask you a question.
It might be possible. I'm not going to rule out 100% and say that it's not possible.
Let me ask you a question, Brandon. Has any team won free agency in the NFL and turned back around and won a national championship? I mean, won a Super Bowl.
Never happened. I'll take it that. Okay. Well, the Rams done it last year.
The Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey. Hold on. The Rams traded for Jalen.
Those are trades.
They traded for Jalen Ramsey. Hold on. They traded for Jalen Ramsey. They traded for Matthew Stafford. They traded for OBJ, right?
Yeah, those are. It felt like free agency, but you're right. Those were all trades.
Okay, hold on. But those are 4 players, right? Mm-hmm. Aaron Donald drafted. Most of the DBs was drafted, right? Because we just signed one from them. Darius Williams came from them. He was drafted through there. The offensive line guys was drafted. Whitworth, all them other guys. So most of that team had been together 3 years before Ramsey, Von Miller, and Stafford got there. That was the closest to any team being bought and paid for that we had ever seen in the NFL that made it to the finals like that. That's the closest team we have. But most of the times, teams are built from the draft. Teams are built from the draft, developed in that organization, and they go to the Super Bowl. That's normally how that happens.
I agree with you. I'm not arguing whether or not is what's happening. I'm just, because it's never been done, the portal is very new. I think it may be too early to say that it can't be done. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it again, I'm with you saying it's not likely that that's the way.
Go look at
Tampa
Bay.
Be done, because I do think if you get the right group of guys, you might be able to make it happen.
Go look at Tampa Bay. They signed Tom Brady. Other than Tom Brady, name all the best players on that team. Mike Evans
was drafted.
Mike Evans drafted. Offensive line
drafted.
Offensive line drafted.
All them dudes. Them dudes developed over a long time too, because Jameis had all them terrible jokers.
All right.
2017 Jags was
see now
only
the NFL
see
the NFL different now. See football different now.
They move that goalpost, boy. They'll move that goalpost. So they'll move that goalpost for Mike. I give it to him.
All right.
Gronk was a draft pick as well. I thought the rank again. All right, again, I'm not.
But I'm saying most of the team,
80%
of the team is out of the draft and signed in free agency and developed over 3 to 4 years.
I'm not saying that that is not the way we've done it. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily say that we cannot do it in the future. It is a possibility.
Let's see that. What do y'all think about
enough of these portal guys? And
what do y'all think about JUCO? I actually like Jaden Jones a lot. Actually, I'm concerned about what type of being he's gonna have. But I do like Jaden Jones. I don't think we get.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Verse come back, Peyton's already shown he's gonna be that number 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're really talking about Jones being more of a depth guy than anything. You know what I mean? The spell Verse and those other guys, so you don't have that much drop off. I'm thinking Verse is coming back from everything we've heard. I've not heard any different. I'll be surprised. Again, he get a 6-sack game in the bowl game against Oklahoma. They may tell him he's a top 5 pick and he'll be gone. But I'm just saying, I think for me, Verse may come back. And if you tell me you pay a Verse with Peyton, Jones is a good pickup, but it'll be really just for depth, and that's a very good problem to have.
Yeah.
And Hussey is definitely not a lot.
Yeah, I think Hussey ends up at Miami.
Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting, but all right.
Yeah, I think he ends up at Miami.
Man, everybody coming off of ACL, man. Mike know that. He know them. Apparently, he's in good with the doctors because Mike will grab an ACL written dude and that dude can play. I mean, again, Benson came off of something. You know what I mean? He was torn or broken up when he got there. Mm-hmm. He's that dude on Toy Story who fixes all the broken toys and then makes them all good again. That's Mike. Mike fixes the broken toys. I ain't concerned about no ACL.
Absolutely. So, yeah, man. But
Jaden Jones is Jared Jackson 2.0.
Damn.
Okay.
All right, Muscle.
I'm just saying. So that means you telling me we getting 2 verses?
No, Jared.
You know
Jackson.
what I mean? Like
Jared Jackson.
Jared Jackson is a D lineman though. Is a D tackle, right? Yeah, but Jared Jones is an end.
Yeah, Jared Jackson ain't good. Yeah,
he's saying he better. And 2.0 mean he better, right?
I hope so. I don't know. Well, I mean,
shit, I don't know.
It's my right. See, Purple Goblin say this. See, Purple Goblin say he heard Verse coming back. That's why I fought left. See,
yeah, there you go.
Can't stack all these players together. Just got to get 1 or 2 of them. Put them all together.
Right. It's not like Falk was gonna be here for 4 years after Verse left. We can't use him after. Yeah, we didn't need him after Verse left because he gonna be gone. So.
Most like depth piece. Okay, man. But anyway, man, this was a great show.
Now at this point, hey, Purple Goblin, let me be very clear. Purple Goblin, we just fucking with you at this point. We really are just messing with you, dog. No, I again, Falk, that is not an excuse again why Falk couldn't have been recruited here because again, there is no guarantee that coming back, and even if Verse is coming back, he would have 3 years without him. Verse ain't coming back for 2 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Unless he tore his ACL and then Falk would start. So then it was. I'm not sure that's it. But listen, man, we enjoyed the show. Recruiting is always a fun time. We get into a lot of think pieces and a lot of excuse making about the teams that we like, and that's cool. It's always fun to do that. It's always fun. It's always fun to do that. To everybody, if y'all got a kid in there and we talk bad about him, I apologize. If y'all thought Sam was too negative and didn't like the fact he don't like Mike Norvell still, he apologizes. I'm gonna apologize on behalf of him because he ain't gonna apologize to y'all because he don't give a fuck.
That's true.
Right. Hit the like button, man, if you haven't. Rate, review, and subscribe. Get us to 1,000, man. Retweet the pod. We're gonna put that episode out tomorrow and on Facebook. If you see it and you know somebody who hasn't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and some of them at Facebook group chats, man. I know y'all be liking the pod. Y'all tell me about it. Y'all comment on it. Y'all told me y'all agree with me last week on Sam, and Sam was talking crazy about the kids not being lazy. So there's 27,000 of y'all in there who seen it. Y'all need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. Let's go ahead and get us up out of here, man. So I'm speaking specifically to the Facebook people. That is your grandmas, your grandpas, your uncles, aunts. It's the crazy streets out there in Facebook, but I brave those streets to get y'all this episode, man. So make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe, man.
All right, we out.
Sam, you got anything else?